G'day everyone, it's Curtis here and welcome to an On The Back Wheel video. Today's the day. I'm finally taking my KLR650 for a ride. So I'm going to go for a lap. I've got some dirt roads and some open roads planned. And I'm going to give my initial impressions on it. Let's do it.
Alright, hello everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Curtis and I am doing a KLR650 series. I just purchased this bad boy with my own money. It is the base model 2022, so the new, well, what's this guy doing? The new generation. Some call it Gen 3, some call it Gen 5, but I'm not getting into that. Yeah, it cost about $10,200 on roads, everything paid for. Let me just lift up my thing. Everything paid for, ready to rock. Fuel tank of gas, away. I just paid for insurance on it, and I believe it was $380 Australian for 1 year at $10,000. So that's pretty damn cheap for comprehensive insurance. So I'm heading through Sanford Village here, my local haunt. I live just around the corner. I'm going to head to Daybra, which is 23 kilometers away. Turn off at Daybra, keep going up, and it turns into forestry. I've never ridden there before. I have done full driving there once, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is not a review. This is just going to be my initial impressions on the bike. I will be doing a review further down the track when I've got more experience with the bike. As you can see, it has 9 kilometers on it, and I have done 4 kilometers today, so it's too early to tell. First impressions are, it is so comfortable. Oh my god, it's like a lounge chair on the road, and it handles fantastic. It's so easy to ride, incredibly smooth. I just did 100 kilometers an hour, which is about 61 miles per hour, and it was a bit vibey through the pegs, but nothing bad. Completely comfortable. It's too quiet. With my helmet on, I have a cheap kind of noisy helmet, and I can't hear the bike. I can hear like a dull, that's it. So I can't judge my revs at these speeds. That should be better off-road. But yeah, first impressions are extremely smooth, handles great, the riding position is fantastic. Right, I'm cruising at about 85 kilometers per hour. What's that in miles per hour? I'm not sure, we can figure it out. But extremely comfortable. It feels like it could do this all day. Wind it up to 100. That's flat out. Yeah, a little bit vibey through the fuel tank here because I'm clutching with my knees, and a tiny bit through the pegs and bars, but nothing unbearable at all. The wind, it doesn't buffet or anything. I've just got a really loud helmet, everyone, so I might wear earplugs on the way back and see how that is. Alright, this person's going a bit slow for my liking. They're doing about 90 kilometers per hour in 100 zone, so I'm going to test on the top gear roll-on when I get a free spot. See how she goes. See if we're free. We're good. It's flat out. Not bad. Not fast, but completely fine. Gee, it just floats along lovely. Really good so far. These aren't great roads. They're quite coarse chip, kind of country roads. Alright, while the wind has died down, and we've stopped at this light, we'll talk a bit about the layout and what I think of it. Brakes, not too bad. Not too bad at all. So dash is incredibly simple. Just got the speedo here, odometer, a clock, and a fuel gauge, which is great. Mine was near enough full. I'm not going to do a fuel range or anything on it this ride because I'm just, you know, testing everything out. Would be great to have a flash at dash on it. I know something cheaper like the Ninja 400 now has TFT, I'm pretty sure, so putting that on it would be a big improvement in my opinion. The only thing I'd like to change about the dash is, why is there not a gear indicator like right here? There's a blank spot for it. That would be good. Something hilarious, I've ridden past 10 kind of traffic controllers so far, and half of them have commented on the bike and pointed at it and given me thumbs up or something. I've had Aprilias, ZX10s, Gixxer 1000s, MV Augusta Brutales, and I've never gotten so many looks and comments and nods in 10 minutes as I ever have in them. It's a dirty old KLR, I love it. Hey, it does look fantastic though. While we're going a bit slower again, I'll talk about the throttle response. Perfectly smooth. Fuel injection is on point so far. I had the 2001 KLR650, well, all of them been carbureted till now, and it was fine, no issues at all. But it would be grumpy starting in the morning and stuff like this. This, boom, straight up burst to life. It does feel a lot smoother, noticeably smoother. Oh, it needs a 6th gear, I'll tell you that for sure. Won't go down that road, I'll have KLR people jumping down my throat. Alright, we're pottering along at slow speeds here. Feels great. Handling is good. Smooth. I think I'm in 3rd gear at the moment. Roll it on. Yeah, feels great. It's very nimble. It's quite a big bike when you wheel it around, but riding it on the road, fantastic so far. I'm wearing kind of like dress boots, I don't know if you can see them down there, and no issues with clearance on the gear lever. Might not be enough with boots. We'll see how we go. What a beautiful day, everyone. What a beautiful day to be out on a brand new motorcycle. Let's see how it handles through this section. I'll take a bit quicker than the recommended. See if it's 83 here, I'll sit on 100 and see how it feels. Ah, what have we got here? Don't mind if I do. Beautiful country. Fuck, I love where I live. We were reluctant to move back to Australia, but we had to, and I'm gonna say I'm not mad about it with where I live. I'll bring the speeds back down so it's not as windy and I can talk a bit clearer. Man, this thing's a hoot! What a hoot! Sure, it doesn't have a lot of power, but there's a bit of torque there and it just rolls on and it's smooth as butter. Having a blast. Having an absolute blast. Look at this beautiful section. Big bump. Smooth as. Stock tyres feel great in the road. Alright, I just finished the initial road section of my ride and I've come here to Diagula National Park. As you can see, it goes from pavement gradually to dirt. It's kind of like red rock, shaly gravel. So we're gonna go riding there next. First impressions of it on road. Oh, way better than I expected. You know, that sounds bad, but I was expecting a dirty old thumper. It is so smooth and easy to ride on the road. It was great. It feels like I could ride it all day. It's like a big comfy lounge chair. So very impressed. Everything on it is completely stock. I haven't changed anything. I haven't moved the bars, the levers, or changed the suspension on the back. I just left it straight, and I just want to give an impression of that, and then we can start tweaking from there on the next couple of rides. All right, let's get into it and go riding on the dirt. I'll start off by saying this. I think the tyre pressures are really high. It's so like, look how much it just lights up. It's so skatey. So we'll see how we go. Never ridden this road before. Oh, car meant a sorry end, didn't it? Right, stand up position feels pretty good. Don't have to bend over far. Could be a tiny bit higher. That's about it. Yeah, 100 clicks off-road, why not? Alright, let's test out the brakes. Should I say ABS off-road? Let's give it a snatch. Oh, that's bad. Look at that. Doesn't want to stop it. Oh. Oh. Let's try it again, unless it's downhill. We'll try this flat. Second gear. We'll go 40 k's an hour. Boom. Not too bad when combined with the rear brake. Let's just do the rear brake. You can hear it ticking a little bit and feel it through the pegs going. Not bad. The front concerns me a bit though. No traction control though. There's the brakes. That was really good. That's on dirt. Compact dirt. Let's give it a sideways accent. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Hey, gets up and goes alright. Alright, brakes. Both brakes. Not too bad. Keep an eye on that. Oh. For shame. My initial thoughts are, if your idea of adventure riding is going on nice roads like I did in the way here, you know, backcountry kind of roads, and then doing a road like this is a pretty fucking good bike. Alright, I just did my first dirt section and I thought I'd stop in this beautiful spot. I mean, look at it. Absolutely gorgeous. And just talk about my initial impressions of dirt riding. So far, gearing is a little bit tall. First gear is a little bit tall. But then if you take away from that, fifth gear is a little bit short. So I think it's going to have to stay how it is. Completely compliant on the gravel and dirt here. You can see what kind of surface it is. Very rocky, gravelly, mixed with some dirt thrown in there, and it's quite dry as well. I know there's water coming across here, but this always flows unless it's really dry. Tyres could have a tiny bit less pressure in them, but pretty good so far. Power, very docile, tractable, just rolls on. Yeah, it just rolls on from pretty much any speed. I'm using first, second and third around here, no problems at all. Brakes, we will talk about the ABS brakes. My first impression was, oh my god, the front is terrible. That was down a descent, just with only front brakes and kind of leaning back. And the ABS was kicking in really bad, especially slow speed. It didn't want to slow down. But when I was doing a proper emergency stop with the rear brake as well, pretty good so far. Very early impressions, but I prefer not to have it off-road. If there was a way to turn it off, that would be fantastic. I'm going to have to look into that. Suspension, very plush, very comfortable. Haven't really hit anything big yet or gnarly. It's been some undulations and stuff, and it felt quite soft. But let's keep going. Traction is fantastic. Woohoo! Fantastic. Back on the pavement. Okay, I just dumped up the dirt for a second. I just thought I'd show you something really cool that's up here. I've only been here a couple of times in my life, but it's called the gantry. Brisbane people will probably know about it. And I'll walk up and show you what it is. So this is a picnic area, but it used to be a logging area. And This is the gantry over here. So here it is, look at it, it's massive. Built this out here in the middle of nowhere for logging. You can see how it runs all the way along there. So cool. It's great that they preserved it too. Look at that. So cool. So just a brief history on the gantry since it's here and it's so impressive. I just read that in the 1800s they found out the logging here was so good that they built the big gantry for milling. So a bullock team would drive massive timber in there and then it would run by steam to run the saws which would cut all the timber. Very cool. Alright, let's check out one more trail before I head home and I'll give some final thoughts on the bike. Look at this turning circle, by the way. Fantastic. Western Escarpment, 14-kilometre round trip. Recommended for four-wheel drive vehicles during dry weather only. So that is this one here. It loops around, comes back to where we are pretty much. So let's do that. Here it is. So this automatically looks a bit more rocky and loose than the section we were on previously. Woohoo! Just out that rear brake. Oh, big hit. It didn't look that big initially. See if it jumps. It does. Let's try again. Yeah, that's a bit soft. You hear that? This is a great track, everyone. We've got the harder around here to test that suspension. Great. Oh shit! Yeah, baby! Woo! Actually took that really well. Didn't expect it. Bit of burn. Woo! Oh, I love riding off-road. Thank you. Oh, look out, quail. Didn't see that. All good. That was awesome. Man, I am impressed. Alright, let's just talk about that quicker section then. It's similar here, but I'm going to go a bit slower so I can talk, and I got my visor up so I can breathe. This thing's a beast. It's a bit soft. Could definitely do with a harder spring in the front and rear. But man, impressed. Look at this, everyone. Haven't been here for a few years. It's worth the wait. Australia, it's fucking unbeatable, eh? America was a lot of fun, but this is half an hour from my house. That is all motorcycle riding. So good. Alright, let's get back to the KLR and have a chat. Okay, I just rode on a much better off-road section and I got the hang of it a bit more. This thing is tops off-road. Really good. Suspension is a bit soft. I believe the front guard is hitting on the tyre, and the rear's a little bit wallowy, but it's a lot better than I thought it would be, man. People underestimate these bikes. Compared to the previous model, suspension is a little bit firmer. Definite improvement. I haven't really noticed a longer travel of the bike, the length of the bike. On the road though, it's fantastic. So I'm going to start heading back, do a little bit more road work, and then we'll have a little chat at the end and wrap it up. Having a blast. Having an absolute blast, guys. Let's keep going. Whoa. Got offline there, everyone. That's right. Alright everyone, I've stopped riding just to give my overall initial impressions on the bike. That sun isn't too bad in my face here. I love it. So far, I am loving the bike. It's a cracker. Absolute cracker. I was pushing reasonably hard on some of those trails there, and it was doing it with no issues whatsoever. Yeah, it was blowing through and bottoming out every now and again, but it was fantastic overall. On the road, it is super smooth and easy to ride. It turns well, it feels light and flickable, and it's smooth. It's just completely smooth. After you get over, say, 110 kilometers per hour, it is a bit buzzy, like through the pegs and handlebars and the tank. But that's a thumper for you. Like, that's how they are. It's an old school thumper at that. Fuel injection was great. No issues with that whatsoever. The brakes initially I thought were going to be terrible. But then after adjusting to it, I had no issues with them at all. Bear in mind, this is dry conditions. I have not tried it in mud or anything. So that's for my actual review. As I said before, this is not a review. This is my impressions of the bike. I can already tell where I'm going to have to improve. Number one, these little bad boys. Very good on the road. Very good. But even then, I've only been riding for an hour, 2 hours, and the balls on my feet, I believe you call it your balls of your feet, the middle bit here, that is sore already because they're just too small. There's not enough purchase area. So that'll probably be the first thing I replace. The exhaust, I love a quiet exhaust, but this is probably too quiet. On the trails here, perfect, nice and quiet. You can hear the engine revving, but on the road it's too quiet and you can't hear where your revs are at with the wind noise. Dash is easy to read. I wish it had a tachometer and a gear indicator, but doesn't worry me, I'll get used to it. Haven't tested out the lights yet. It's too early to do that. You can see the sun is still right in the air. Suspension is a little bit soft. Tires are way better than I thought they would be, but again, bear in mind this is in dry conditions. The exhaust, there is a bit of heat coming from that. Definitely a bit of heat coming from that, so I will probably replace that with a different exhaust. I believe it is exactly the same as the prior model. That's something I have to look into though. I'll check part numbers and take some photos and compare it to an old exhaust. Riding position is fantastic. I really like it. The seat is comfortable. Hard to fault bike. Overall, the only things I can really fault are the foot pegs, the vibrations at higher speed there, and it could do with a little bit more snap. It's just a bit doughy. But on the dirt here, perfectly fine. On the road, you saw overtaking was no issues whatsoever. It's just a great touring bike, adventure touring bike. For the riding I was doing today, that mix I was doing, where you're out in the open road, bit of commuting through town, doing these kind of trails that aren't too technical, I was having a blast. I was having an absolute blast. And I would do more technical trails than that in a heartbeat, like no issues whatsoever. You may or may not know that I bought this with my own money. I could have got a test bike, no problems at all. I had one lined up and I could have done the exact same ride I did today, plus more, but number one,
I want an adventure bike for myself. Yes, selfish, I know. Number 2, I just think it's going to be fantastic for the channel. I'm going to be able to do a ton of content with this bike and modifications. You can't mod a test bike you got for a couple of days. Number 3, studies show that when you're given something for free, your opinion on it is changed and it's tarnished. So what better way of reviewing probably the most everyday normal bike than an everyday bloke like me buying one with his own money. Plus, bikes are freaking sweet. All right, if you like what I'm doing, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm going to be doing a ton more KLR650 content and other motorcycle content. Every subscriber counts, especially when you fork out over 10 grand for a bike and you're going to mod the hell out of it. All right, keep it on the back wheel, people. Catch us.